If you are an American and you think, wait, we only got 83 and Finland got 100, and we consider ourselves to be the freest country in the world, what are the Finns doing that got them 17 more points than us? It's okay to even say it. Can you say that?
Most of the time we can say what we want to say.
So Second Amendment people here, there you go, the Iranians, they're on your team. You know what I mean? Like the whole country is. Like, and women in particular, like how awesome is that?
Why even talk against the government or say, something you're not supposed to say? Why get yourself in trouble, basically?
Yeah, why do that?
And so I think in New Hampshire there is a saying that live free or die, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was looking at this Freedom in the World chart, where it's an organization that really tracks how free countries are on different traits. So one is, we're going to talk about political freedoms and civil freedoms. There's internet freedom. There are all sorts of different things. So Finland got 100 out of 100. For the most part, Scandinavian countries do really quite well in this regard. They're very free in so many different ways. Okay? The United States is 83 out of 100. If you are an American and you think, wait, we only got 83 and Finland got 100, and we consider ourselves to be the freest country in the world, what are the Finns doing that got them 17 more points than us? So you got to start thinking about freedom in some kind of a different way. Like, maybe I'm missing something, right? But then you look at China, is a 9 out of 100. Okay. Kuwait, 38. So Kuwait is partly free. We did Qatar because, I'll explain later. So Qatar is not free, but right on the cusp. Look at Saudi Arabia. Right. Iran. Iran's higher than China. You have 5 of your lovely classmates up here who happen to be from countries on this list. And we have an opportunity to hear from them about how their lives at home are different than their lives here. How protective do you feel of yourself? Like, how much, in your minds, are you thinking of what you can and can't say, for example?
I don't really have too much censor. I can kind of really say whatever I want, unless I'm too critical of the government.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
If you start getting too critical of the government, then you would back off a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't actually have any freedom. Even when I'm here and talking to all of you guys, I have to be careful of what I say. Because even the slightest thing, even wording, not even opinion or anything, will kind of be offensive to our government, and it will face extreme stuff like going to prison or stuff like that.
But let me ask you this question, though. But you just saying that, it's okay to even say it? Can you say that?
For them, this will be more of an explanation of what is happening.
I got you. Okay.
You know how we say hey, which is informal, but you say hello.
Yep.
Really it's different words.
Yep.
This is something like that. I can give my opinion. Not give my opinion. I can say something and explain it, but I can't give my opinion at all.
I got you. So so the government knows. The government's not in denial about the government.
No, it isn't. Even there are cases that when we want to enter the country as a Iranian citizen, they do, before entering the country, they do some type of background check so that they can see if you did something in here.
I relate to what Yusuf said, as in I do feel like I could speak freely, just I wouldn't necessarily criticize the government in that extent.
Well, first off, the first question is, would you even want to? When I go talk about, when I'm in another country and I'm talking about the United States, for example, I don't feel any compulsion to criticize the United States. It doesn't even matter. Whatever, I'm just talking about life. Why do I Why do I even want to do that? We're talking about other things. So
Yeah, I agree. I feel like if you speak to any Saudi here at Penn State, and there's a lot of us, you would not hear any criticism. We're very proud to be from Saudi, and we're very proud of our country.
yeah, because you're doing other things, right? Right? Like, I mean, you're not going to. Okay, partly you're not going to hear criticism because you're just busy doing other things, thinking about other stuff and doing other things.
Yeah, we're busy being the Saudi Arabian youth and representing Saudi.
Got you. Yep, got you. To what degree in your mind are you thinking, okay, what I can say, what I can't say,
Yeah, I don't really have that sort of thing in head. Unlike the most of, on the top, it's not free to talk about things. I mean, most of the time we can say what we want to say. Yeah.
When you think about rights and liberties back home, okay, and here in the United States, what stands out?
Legally owns weapon.
Legally owned weapons?
Yes, weapons.
Like guns?
Yes, like guns.
So you just think that?
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes up. Yeah.
Okay. How strange is it for you that Americans have so many guns?
Not strange, but it's pretty different from what China is doing. Let's say owning a weapon it's not bad. It's just the society, its progress. It depends on the person that's in the backwards.
So do Chinese want to own guns? Is it a conversation that you all have? You're like, I wish we had guns like the Americans do.
I mean, we don't want guns because, so back in China, the environment that I grew up is very safe. So, we don't feel that we need a weapon, but yeah, but sometimes, on the movie or when we are playing video games, we were just wondering, what does it feel to shoot a real gun? How does it feel like? But yeah, that's it.
Would you want to shoot a real gun? Have you ever shot one?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you have, all right.
Yeah, I had.
Yeah. Have you ever shot one?
In our schools, you have to, women especially, have to take a class. They teach us how to use guns. And it's like going to military school, but we have to pass that class. We hold a gun, we know how to use a gun. They even put objects, any type of object in front of us, and they technically prepare us for any type of war.
So Second Amendment people here, there you go, the Iranians, they're on your team. You know what I mean? The whole country is. And women in particular, how awesome is that? How about when you think about, Ziad, when you think about rights and liberties that back home, or either in Egypt or in Saudi Arabia and here, what kinds of things come up? What do you see?
I guess here you could say whatever you want. That's not the case in the other countries.
So it's speech is a big thing.
Right, for sure.
How about for you though? Being here and being either in Egypt or in Saudi, how is that for you? Do you how's life different?
for me, I'm not affected by it at all because why even talk against the government or say something you're not supposed to say? Why get yourself in trouble, basically?
Yeah, why do that? Right. Well, okay, that's a good question. Dima, why do that?
I feel like I have insight on that. I feel because we're not a democracy. You guys, in the United States, you guys have to be vocal about political stances or to influence people because you guys are the ones that's going out there to vote. But why would we? Because we don't have we don't necessarily go out and vote, at least in Saudi. So I feel that is the main the bigger difference.
So right. So why? That means. So how much trust? You have to have a lot of trust in your leaders, though, to be y'all are going to make the right decisions in order to feel comfortable.
Yeah, and I feel as Saudis, we agree that we have enormous trust in our leaders, especially the Crown Prince, because we've seen the change and we've seen such advancements that Saudi Arabia is one of the leading countries in change right now. So we do have that trust, and the trust is like right.
Yeah, but people don't understand that, right? Right? Like people don't get that. If you haven't been to Saudi, like you don't get that, right? Could you say more about it, just as a thing here? Why would you have trust in your leadership? But if you look at what has happened in Saudi Arabia over the past 20 years, 30 years, you'd be like, well, go check it out. Look at things, right? If you haven't seen it, like for example, the World Expo is coming in 2030, okay? And Saudi just won the World Expo. So Korea asked me to go to Paris a year ago, and they said, can you speak to the nations, right? There's a gathering of representatives from the nations about why Korea should have the World Expo. And I'm like, whoa, damn. So first of all, it's pretty cool to be able to be this guy representing the country, the nation of Korea, South Korea, okay? But Korea was up against the Italians, who didn't stand a chance, and the Saudis. And I'm just like, dude, Korea's going to win this thing. Now, I've worked in the Middle East for over a decade. Yeah, but Korea's going to win this because Korea is so advanced technologically. And then I watched the Saudi presentation, and I was like, oh.
Korea don't got money like that.
Dude, they don't have money like that, man. No, first off, they don't have money to give away to other nations to vote for them. But also, what Saudi is planning for the World Expo, I was like, holy whoa, man. So when you're saying, like, trust in the government, you know what I mean? It's like you can't understand what that means if you don't have any experience of what it would mean to be Saudi and trusting in the government.
Yeah, and I feel like because of that ambitious project, like we're happy to host the World for Expo 2030, but also our other projects like are already giving us tourists. Yeah. I was just in Saudi this October, and so many places we've gotten like, I see the tourists going around and seeing the project, seeing what we're working on, and this is why like we have that trust, because we see results and we see success, in other words.
Yeah, you see it. Kuwait's a little different, right? So Kuwait, you got a 38 score, so it's a little bit different, right? But how much do you feel like when you go back into Kuwait that you're kind of under a watchful eye?
I feel like I'm watched there less than here.
Yeah, how so?
As an international student, like we feel like we have to stay silent about certain things about the U.S. and so on. We can't voice our opinions like other Americans. We just feel like we should keep to our own and not really express what you feel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you. So there you feel comfortable being yourself.
Essentially.
And they were saying about Saudi and like critiquing the government. Do you have a similar thing about the Kuwaiti government, or this like, what's the point?
Yeah, we kind of put full trust to our government.
Does it surprise you that Americans criticize our government as much as we do? Like people are yelling and like.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Americans just really are very critical of governments in general.
Yeah.
Their own government, other governments. They just think about it a lot. They always have an opinion about it.
Yeah, most of the average American wouldn't be happy with any. If they were a country of one person and they were the government, they still wouldn't be happy. So it's just like, God, it's just part of the DNA here. Zuling, then I want to come to you in a second. Are you surprised at how much Americans critique?
So I came here in high school. So I was studied in New Hampshire for high school. And so I think in New Hampshire there is a saying that live free or die, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And but so in my homestay, I can hear they criticize the government a lot. And I think that was during the last election when Biden wins.
Yeah.
And my homestay was really upset about it because they really like Trump. Mm-hmm. And so I can hear them criticize about it. But like for me, like I mean, generally in China, we do like sometimes like when we are talking in the table, like we sometimes would do that, but most of the time, like we don't spend that kind of like focus on what governments are focusing on, like what they are doing, because we are generally like we trust the government, and we just let them do what they are going to do, what they should do. Yeah.
Hey, how much does Saudi Arabia have all the cameras in public places that China has? You guys don't, right?
Like to be watched?
Yeah. You guys don't have many.
No, like surveillance cameras.
Surveillance
like normal
cameras,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah, the ones that like everyone has.
Yeah, so now.
Not to the same extent.
Yeah. How is it? So when you're in the streets in China, and everywhere you go, I mean, there are just cameras everywhere, man. Right?
Yeah.
Does at some point in time, because I know, at some point in time, do you just kind of block them out, or are you thinking about it all the time, or?
No, actually. Most of the time I think I'm protected.
You're protected?
Yeah, because look, I'm not a criminal, and I'm not planning to start a crime. So, and all the cameras are in public space, so you're already being watched by other people. It's just there are some cameras there.
Got you.
And so like it's nothing different. And I mean, nobody is like just staring on all the cameras there, like seeing how everyone is doing. Like that's not going to happen. It's just if some place, like some store is being stolen, and the police officers, they would check the cameras for the streets over there, like and nearby, to see where the criminals go and to track them down.
But like you say, the crime rate's low anyway, so you're protected by.
Yes, I am.